My name is James O'Keefe. I played the role of a pimp with the intention of running for Congress, with my colleague Hannah Giles. Hannah played the role of a prostitute. We sought housing assistance from ACORN in order to establish a brothel where we could profit off the prostitution of a dozen underage girls trafficked in from El Salvador. We informed ACORN employees we would use our illicit sex profits to fund my future congressional campaign. Question: would the ACORN employees A. call the cops, B. tell us they can't help us, C. discourage us from breaking laws, or D. none of the above? ACORN is the Association of Community Organizations for Reform Now. ACORN has goals including the registration of new voters and the advocacy of affordable housing, especially in the inner cities. The young woman pretending to be the prostitute says she wants to traffic into the United States a dozen underage girls from El Salvador and wants assistance obtaining a housing loan for a brothel, getting around federal tax laws, and helping to launder the sex money into the man's future congressional campaign.
Even mentors that I told about the idea, they told me not to do it, but they also told me they thought it would work. And so then it became, okay, I have to do this. And then suddenly it became, okay, well, how do I do this? I had some friends that were in other journalism internships, and they're like, we know this guy, James O'Keefe. He has all this undercover video equipment. They told me to reach out and use their name, and so I did. I emailed James on Facebook, and James kept saying, will you do this? Will you be the one that goes undercover? And I'm sitting there like, yes, I'll be the one that goes undercover.
I wanna tell you about a girl I kissed. She was ridiculous, I mean picturesque. Yeah, she was more than looking beautiful. See, she was in the know with the physical.
The type of business or service you provide, let me make sure there's a code for it, okay?
A code for prostitution?
You might have to name it something else. Let's see. Independent artists. You can be that.
And they're very young, and we don't want to put them on the books. Well, they're like 15.
Oh, well then you don't worry about it.
Investigators found the videos were highly edited.
Edited and doctored tape.
Severely edited.
Heavily edited tape.
Selectively edited.
Doctored tape.
Manipulated videos.
Doctored and deceptive.
Heavily edited tape.
They're not your friends. They hate me.
James is coming from a clear partisan agenda, right? His goal is to embarrass the institutional left. And that's not the journalism I was taught to do, or the journalism that my institution practices.
I try to make the video about something that everyone agrees is wrong. It's not conservative or liberal, it's just, we all agree that child prostitution is wrong and evading taxes is wrong.
I'm sure ACORN has a line that they won't cross. Please tell me 13 underage Salvadorian sex slaves is the line. Are you kidding me?
When the media decides it wants to kill somebody, it behaves so in a merciless fashion. And that's what they tried to do to you by coming out with a series of reports that said that ACORN was exonerated and saying that you had unfairly edited the videos.
So what was edited out? Tell us what was heavily edited here. It's never something that you ever see from these guys. It's just, it's a way of stopping thinking.
What's remarkable is how unfazed the ACORN people are by this question and situation. This is clearly not the first time they've been hearing this.
And one video by O'Keefe and Giles has more impact than 10,000 pages of written evidence. The IRS has severed ties to the organization, meaning ACORN will no longer be able.
We work too hard to have some trumped up thing like this happen.
The video is still there, Bertha, and we still see these people. So you could say anything you want to say about your attackers, but in the end, the evidence is what's hurting the credibility of your organization.
Breitbart had guessed correctly that ACORN would claim that this was simply a few bad apples in one office and just throw them under the bus, which is exactly what they did. Andrew Breitbart, holding enormous reserves of evidence, let them come on and make that defense.
You know, this is a handful of folks. I immediately took swift action.
So the people have been fired. The people that we see on these tapes have been fired.
A second video surfaced showing identical treatment at Washington, D.C. Okay, 2 bad offices, said ACORN. And then a 3rd video in New York City. Now, New York book. Video 4, video 5. Every time ACORN tried to construct some kind of we're the victim defense, Andrew had a card to play that exposed them for what they were. A criminal enterprise, corrupt to the core.
How about the funding for ACORN?
You know, frankly, it's not really something I've followed closely. I didn't even know that ACORN was getting a whole lot of federal money.
The Senate and the House have voted to cut it off.
You know, what I know is that what I saw on that video was certainly inappropriate.